Imagine 21,000 women. If that's difficult, try imagining Madison Square Garden where the New York Knicks play. But imagine that every seat is filled with a woman and it's an all-women basketball game that's being played, and all of the coaches and announcers and scorekeepers are all women. Got it? That's about 21,000 women. Now imagine that someone drops a bomb on the Garden, obliterating everyone. There. That's basically what Donald Trump has just done when he signed an executive order called the Global Gag Rule. In 1984, the year, not the book, although it's related, Ronald Reagan enacted the Global Gag Rule, also known as the Mexico City policy, because it was initially announced at a UN conference in that city. The policy states that the United States won't offer any reproductive health funding to non-governmental organizations, NGOs, that even mention abortion as an option. That's not if they perform abortions themselves, but if they even mention it as a viable form of healthcare. That's why it's a gag rule, because it literally stops the freedom of speech of any NGO that receives U.S. federal money for reproductive care, despite the fact that the subject matter in question, abortion, is legal in the United States and may be legal where the NGO is located. Every Democratic president since then has rescinded the gag rule, and every Republican has reinstated it. So it wasn't very surprising that Donald Trump made it one of his first acts in office to reinstate it. He's already enabling Congress to destroy the Affordable Care Act and leave thousands of Americans without insurance, plus defunding Planned Parenthood and stopping poor women from accessing basic health care like cancer screenings. So thousands of Americans will die from Trump's health-related policies. It's only fair that he should also contribute to the deaths of foreign women as well. While it wasn't a shock that he was reinstating the policy, what was surprising and is noteworthy, and I would like to see more people talking about, is the fact that he took additional steps to make the gag rule much crueler and more deadly than it was before. Previously, the ban was on reproductive health funding, but now the rule applies to absolutely all funding from any agency in the United States. So previously, it involved about $600 million in aid. Now it's about $9 billion in aid. That's $9 billion in much needed aid that organizations now have to decide whether they want to give that up or stop telling women about their legally available reproductive health care options. To put this into perspective, imagine if we tried that with any other legal but regulated activity in the United States. Imagine if no government aid could go to any organization that mentions that opioids can help treat pain, or to any organization that even mentions driving. It's disgusting, and it's unbelievably dangerous. It's a dangerous way for the religious right to continue to put women's lives in jeopardy, even though abortion is still somewhat legal here in the United States. It's anti-woman, it's anti-science, and it's anti-American if you at all value the First Amendment. And experts estimate that the gag rule will lead to an increase in abortions in developing countries, since more women will be left without any kind of contraception or reproductive health education. That's what researchers for the World Health Organization found happened in sub-Saharan Africa when George W. Bush reenacted this gag rule. But of course, the World Health Organization may now have trouble performing important studies like this due to Donald Trump's update to the gag rule, because they now stand to lose about 1/6 of their funding because they do in fact discuss abortion. As I've mentioned time and time again, making abortion less accessible doesn't stop women from having abortions. It stops them from having safe abortions. There aren't fewer dead babies. There are more dead women. And one of the largest family planning NGOs that we give money to estimates that the gag rule will lead to an additional 6.5 million unintended pregnancies, 2.1 million unsafe abortions, and yes, 21,700 maternal deaths. I'm sorry, I don't really have much of a call to action here. Fuck Donald Trump, fuck fascism. I hope you march Saturday if you could, and I hope that you're already calling your representatives. I hope that you're punching Nazis, and I hope that you're staying safe.